Well, hello, church, and welcome to the Midweek Pastor's Update this week for Thursday, February 11th, 2021. And as I'm looking around me today, I'm thinking to myself, why didn't I just record this yesterday? It was like 70, almost 70 degrees, sunny and beautiful, and now today it's sort of gloomy and cold. And you know what? In its own way, it's beautiful. It's winter. It's good to see some precipitation. So I got my nice Irish sweater on. I'm just in the moment, and I hope wherever you find yourselves when you're watching this, you're all warm and toasty and bundled up, whatever you need to be. So anyway, I hope this message finds you well today. A couple things to start, just such an expression of gratitude. I got a wonderful message from June Haugen about our partners down in Guatemala, the organization called Hope for the Pocomchi, and ASOSOP is another name for it here stateside. But it is just to say that the recovery efforts continue to be of great benefit to the communities that are in the sort of the outer reaches of the recent hurricanes and mudslides and all the devastation that so many of the communities there have felt. Well, through the efforts of raising funds, through prayer, through the sending of love, there's been a lot of great work happening down there. So thank you all for the ways that you continue to support that organization, and I'll continue to report any updates that are happening down there as they recover from so much devastation over the last few months. But there's some positive news, and some of the emergency and life-saving supplies are getting through to where they need to be. So that's great news. I just want to say thank you to those folks that have started to submit their ash drawings, their those little charcoal pencil drawings that we've been doing for the Ash Wednesday project. There's just some beautiful work that comes in, and to say that is not just to talk about the beauty of the actual quality of the artwork, but just really how it's such a raw and honest expression of what's going on. Some of you are showing a sense of peace and joy. Others are much more, say, frazzled or just, here I am. But no matter what it is, the intention of this is to, through art, recognize, even celebrate what it is, who we are, where we are, what we're doing, what we're feeling, and recognizing that through it all, there is the possibility of beauty, of redemption, of transformation, and certainly of the presence, the unyielding presence of God and God's love. So thank you for submitting. Keep them coming in. I'm going to get them up in the sanctuary for the worship services starting not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday when Lent begins. Ash Wednesday, as I've said before, is February 17th. You know, as I've kind of been sitting with myself today and thinking about it's really how I'm doing, I wonder how often you get to check in with yourself, with how you're really doing in the midst of all the different things that are happening, in the news and in our world. The stuff that we want to maybe keep up with, the stuff we really, invest ourselves in to stay informed. Is it adding a dimension of peace and balance to our life, or is it sending us off in so many different directions? I don't know. I know that for myself, with trying to consume the amount of information that is coming out, as far as with what's happening in our world, in the political realm, with the ongoing concerns and questions about the rollout of the vaccine and trying to figure out what we're going to do with church, related to the coronavirus, and doing things responsibly there, with with what I'm seeing in terms of schools continuing to grapple with how do we best meet the needs of our kids? And, well, the sports teams are able to do what they do and meet in practice and play. But then what about our singing and our acting and the other kids who seem to sometimes get left behind or yet are still not allowed to do what is their passion and their joy, and just trying to figure it all out. And man, you know what? It just leaves me feeling pulled in so many different directions, and I know it does for many of you too. In fact, we were talking about this in the Bible study just on Tuesday, where ultimately what came up was where we are in the Gospel of Mark is this time where it's kind of like a brass tacks time. It's at the end, it's in the Passion, and it's at that critical moment where Jesus is asking the disciples to just stay alert, to keep awake, to just be with him, be present. And the word mindfulness came up, right? Just be mindful, stay with me. And in the story, they just fall on their face repeatedly. They just can't do it. They are incapable of staying present with Jesus. They're incapable of truly being watchful to their own lives and participating in their own lives that way. And we were just starting to reflect on the fact that that's us. That's all of us right now. There's moments that we are in it and we do it and we feel this connection and this sense of groundedness and peace and presence. And then we get pulled and we get distracted and we start spiraling off in all sorts of different directions. And that's it, isn't it? That's the challenge. Because it's constant. We don't arrive at that place of being mindful. No, it's a constant practice, and we all would benefit from deepening that practice, and that's kind of what we came to. So today I received a wonderful message from one of our members, Pete Clark. And he shared this with me and didn't really preface it, but I had a feeling it was kind of connected perhaps to that conversation we started to have in Bible study. And it has to do with mindfulness. And so I offer this meditation here, this brief reading here, as a means of calling all of us to deeper mindfulness in our own daily lives. And so the reading he sent me is called Turning on the Light. It starts with a brief verse, okay? Just take this verse in. Forgetfulness is the darkness. Mindfulness is the light. I bring awareness to shine upon all life. Friends, when you touch a light switch, you can stop for a few seconds and recite those words I just said before you turn on the light. And so not only will there be light in the room then, but with those words there will also be light within you. Dwelling in the presence is nothing short of a miracle. Every illusion and random thought we have will disappear, just as darkness disappears when the light comes on. When we are mindful, we get in touch with all that is refreshing and peaceful and healing within ourselves and around us. And in that sense, peace and joy can be accessed at any time. And conscious attention to our breathing helps us come back to that present moment, whatever's happening outside in our world or within. And the person that wrote this says, I practice breathing every day, mindful breathing. And in my meditation room, I have it calligraphied on my wall. Breathe. You are alive. And so when mindfulness shines its light on our activity, what happens is we recover ourselves. We encounter the present moment. It's like we might be wobbling, in our lives. We might be knocked off kilter. We might feel way out of balance, but calling that attention, starting with our breathing, staying where we are for a moment, saying those lines can call us back to the present, can illuminate the presence of the present within us, like turning a light switch on. And as the author says at the conclusion of this reflection, he says, the present moment is just a wonderful moment. We know this in our heads. May we embrace it with our full selves. Take the time to not just flick on a light, but pause at that switch and reflect on the illumination of being in the present moment. Take a breath, be present, and let the light illuminate all the spaces outside and within. Well, friends, until we meet again, may you all be present. May you find deep peace. And may you be held in the light and in the love of Christ. Amen.